It's gonna go fix itself eventually, not to worry. Yeah, just strengthens itself out, so I don't too much about it. I am so advance. Yes, I am. Oh, you can fix it. That's right, that's right. Yeah, strength indeed have much. Right now, saying itself out doesn't take long for it to fix itself. Oh, I know we can do this. We can fix it. Let me see if I can fix it. And thank you more. I am happy to hear that. Settings here. Fix the speaker. I'm trying to this here. Give me a moment. The voice process necessary. Continue on sitting down, so before to welcome to stuff like this takes time. Well, I haven't stopped. I've still been working on it. There's a why you don't see me posting on much because, well, I've been working on it. I've actually got a lot done. Surprisingly, you'd be surprised at how much I actually got done. So, I won't worry too much. I got it. It's all the way. Oh, no. It's in size, you're particularly sweet to my top class, that's new, what's up? Nothing much. Sorry for the background noise. There's a few parts touching light because I'm working on the show. But I'm doing pretty good. I've been working some more on this. I don't know, some more parts. Some notes. Yeah, this is like one of the processes that I did. I have like multiple copies, lots of parts and elements, and stuff, and frequent. There's a few, just take a look at that. Pink. Like, color coordinate all the parts I use so that I can, like, know what stage everything is at. Initially, when I started working on this back in 2020, way back in 2020, what I would do is color coordinate everything. Well, now I color coordinate when I make this whole serum. I would just sell different colors, you know, and see how durable some colors are compared to others. Um, so that I can, ballpark idea what to expect from each other. And that has helped me a lot in the beginning. You know, very familiar with what types of colors and stuff I have to use. You know, it's very easy for me to, like, get an assessment of what works and what doesn't work. second open door. But that's okay. You can use the elements for something else. So the beauty about making parts like this is that even if, like, you're doing oopsie daisy, like, there's very little consequence because you can always just repurpose the elements that you make. Because you're going to be, like, carving it and stuff like that. That's how I usually make things very precise. Like, I start with a rough model, and then I sculpt it and refine it. So that it could be a lot more visually pleasing. Let's just put it that way. More visually pleasing. Yeah, I'll fix it.
Okay, guys, is that better? Can you hear me better, guys, or is it still glitchy? Still glitchy? Okay, let me fix that. Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. I'm glad it's not glitchy. I'm glad. Woo! Okay. Now you guys can hear me. That's a miracle. Yeah, I was okay. Awesome. That is perfect. I am glad. I am honestly glad. And I'm going to close the door a little bit because it's too noisy out there. Benson says, I'm going to watch the new Jurassic World movie. That's awesome. I hope you have a great time. That sounds like a lot of fun. Let me actually raise this up. Yeah, I hope you have. But I really want to see the new Jurassic World movie. I really do. Maybe one day, when I'm not so busy, I can go ahead and watch it. And let me shed some light in here, shall we? There we go. Not the best, but it will do for now. Honestly, I can open up the blinds at least. There we go. There's another piece right there that I will be cleaning up momentarily. This one is going to be the fun one. There we go. Now, after this, I'm going to be starting to do some sculpting. But that is going to be a little bit noisy. So if it's too loud, then we're not going to do it if it's too loud. And I'll adjust the audio respectively if it is too loud, because the process is kind of loud. Not going to lie. Not going to lie. It's going to be kind of loud. But you know what? You'll get to see firsthand in what I'm doing like every single freaking day for about like 8 hours. About 8 hours of just doing. There's a lot of parts that I make frequently. Like everything's made by hand. I don't like use like a computer or anything like that, because I don't have a 3D printer or anything like that. So there's no way of translating a digital model and bringing it into the physical world. Everything that you see in the physical world has been devised and replicated by yours truly. So there's hardly... So like it can be a longer process, but it does have its advantages at the same time, because you are working with a physical piece instead of like something that's just like printed out of a computer, because then you have to deal with the printing lines and stuff like that. And honestly, I'm not all about that. I am more hands-on, you know. I'm not the type of individual that... Well, like, I do enjoy working in a digital space, yes. But there's something more appealing to me making something actually by hand more than anything else. If you catch my drift. Something far more appealing in that regard. And the camera is going to be adjusted and fixed so that you guys can get to see me do some sculpting and crafting. And that's done. And I'm going to be making another, playing with some silicone in the near future. But before I go ahead and play with some silicone, I have to sculpt another torso and a pair of limbs, because I do got the sockets now to do that. So that's going to be fun and interesting. I built 28 Spider-Man villains. I'm watching The Last Kids on Earth, says Benson. That's pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome. So begins the fun part. Cleaning up all the parts. You're going to see firsthand exactly how that works and how that operates. So ready your seats, people. This is going to be... If it's too noisy, then we won't do it. But I know it's going to be noisy. But if it's too noisy for you, then we can work something out. Hopefully. Benson says, does anyone in chat have a favorite Spider-Man villain? Yeah. Well, to answer real quick, my favorite Spider-Man villain is Mysterio. I love Mysterio and I love Shocker. Those are my two favorites. There we go. There we go. Okay. This is where the fun is going to begin. Where's my tweezers? Where's my needle nose? I just had my needle nose just a second ago. Ah, there it is. I need that. Okay, I'll put that over there. That over there. Now, to anyone asking, I do have a mask. Very heavy-duty one, in fact. I don't know why that was like a big drama thing. As a matter of fact, I have multiple masks. Not for just this one in particular. I got one for like fumes, one for dust, like this. I got one for chemicals. You know, I got all sorts of masks. And of course, I got the Kanohi mask, which is the most protective of them all. The most protective of all kinds of masks. You can't go wrong there. Now, my voice is going to get a little bit muffled, but that will be perfectly fine. I assure you, I am just wearing a mask. Safety first, people. Safety first. Very important.
That is very awesome, Benson. That is very awesome. Very cool. I dig it. Okay, see you around, Benson. It was nice chatting with you. Welcome to the show. Hello there, General Lyrics. How's it going?
Okay, fellow compatriots. I was starting to sweat in the mess, so I'm going to give some time to cool myself down. But in the meantime, while I'm cooling myself down, I'm going to be cutting some plastic, which means I get to converse with all of you. All you wonderful, beautiful people. And honestly, what isn't there to talk about? Don't answer that. I know you may have your answers, but please do not answer. Just acknowledge the fact that I get to speak in all my glory as I chop up some plastic. That's all you ever need. Oh, just need it. Not to like about that, honestly. Chopping up some plastic. Woo. And enjoying my time. Because that's all you ever need. That's all one ever needs. So yeah, I won't be cutting anymore, doing any like sculpting. You guys find that a little bit boring, and plus I need to cool myself down. So I think working with the plastics would be a good remedy to that, in my opinion, in my personal educated opinion. For I am very much educated in my ways of chopping up some plastic. Now, I know this is not like the most entertaining thing in the world. I'm starting to realize that now. Like, not a lot of you are interested. You just want to see the final product. But you're probably wondering, but Trev, I don't see anything. It's like, well, there are many stages, many levels that a person must take, like many steps, before they even begin to reach the final product. Right now, all that you're seeing right now is chunks of carved resin and yogurt cups. But, you know, there is some beauty that you will eventually see with the yogurt cups and the resin. And the machine that's just sitting over there. By the way, I fixed the injection molding machine. It runs now. I had to get a couple of diodes to make sure that everything runs properly. Because there was a little bit of feedback involved. Just a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. But I think I have fixed the problem. There we go. Now I get to sit down and cut some plastic. Let's like punch everything into the ether. Because that is what one does, like punches stuff into the ether. I have chopped down multiple yogurt cups in preparation. Like, there's different types of plastic, yes. And this particular type of plastic is very much recyclable. So I do have some ABS, some PVC, and variation on other types of plastics that I do have in possession. But for the most part, I have this. And I'm going to be getting quite a lot of this particular plastic. Because I have a large access to it. So that I don't have to keep throwing money at the wall. Look at the save. It's a miracle. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. In many shapes and ways, it is a very beautiful thing that not a lot of people tend to realize when it comes to working with the plastics. Because you have to think how much money you'll be spending in getting the plastic, having it shipped to you, and have like quite a large quantity. Like, it may not be that economical. And honestly, there are other methods that will be a lot more superficial, in my opinion. And there we go. Ah. You know what? Sometimes I don't understand people sometimes. I really don't. Like throwing money out at the wall. Like, you know, money is good and all. But what's also important? Skill. And imagination. It's very crucial to have a very imaginative mind to problem solve. If I imagine if not mind, you'll be like, what am I going to do now? And there's nothing much you can do. Except, you know, trying to get ideas from others. And even then, you may not find the results very satisfactory. You know, you have to expand your third eye sometimes. Expand it. You know, dip your toes into the waters of imagination. Truly find the answer that you seek, in my opinion. I don't know why people. Yeah, I was like, I remember like the last time I was messing around with like plastic containers and stuff like that. I was like making a raft. And it was back at an old place that I used to live, and with said raft, it was made out of wood mostly, but on the underside, I used like plastic containers and stuff like that. So from your milk jugs to your juice containers, like anything plastic that can hold air. You know, I was using that for the raft. However, the containers would float, yes, but I didn't tie it down properly back when I was just a teen. And so, like, the raft itself will always be submerged underwater or start falling to pieces because I did not have, like, a lot of skill in tying containers to a wooden raft at the time. I was just messing around. It's like, oh, shoot, I want to do that, you know. And then I tried to do it, but then I failed miserably. Yeah, but sometimes it's a good thing. It's a learning experience, and that's like the takeaway of that. To like able to understand and realize, hey, you know what, this didn't went so well, and this was like the issues with that, and then you can go ahead and take that experience and put it into good use. Not that I used that experience to make another raft. I did not. Matter of fact, I haven't been near water in quite a long time. Yeah, one of my friends recently decided to go swimming, and it's been like well over a decade since they last swam, and it was almost surreal for them. It was because they got pretty like tired out and stuff like that. And I was like, I should probably go to a pool sometime and just go for a swim. I mean, the last time I went swimming, like I was apparently so good at swimming that I was asked to join a swim team. But then I was like, nah, not interested. Even though I was really good, I was like, nah, I'm good. A few people at the Lego store got a kick out of that when I was telling that story. It was because I was able to like hold my breath for a very long time. I was a very quick swimmer as well. Matter of fact, I held my breath for so long that I got the lifeguard to be overly concerned at the fact that my head was underwater for kind of a little bit too long, in their opinion. So I had to pull up and be like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm alive. Don't worry about me. I'm good. I'm alive and well. I'm not drowning. I swear." Yeah. It's that I reflect back. I was like, as a kid, I wasn't like didn't get like that much attention at all. Like I was pretty like kind of like the drifter out in school. I hardly talked to anybody in school or anything like that. Was able to make a couple of friends, but I was very much a quiet kid. Very much so. Only having like a few friends. I don't know how relatable that is, but to some of you out there, but I was very much a quiet kid. I did not like go out that much. I still don't go out much. Like it's very rare for me to get out of the garage and out of the house and do stuff. For better or for worse. It's just a matter of perspective. But I did enjoy my time, I guess. Keeping myself busy, being able to work on multiple projects, working on making bionicle mocks and stop motion animations for a very long time. More so mocks and animations. I've always wanted to do like animations, but like they take quite a long time to make, and it's much more quicker to make a bionicle mock for me than it is to animate. Like I take my time. Like sometimes I take like a couple of days. I remember one of my first stop motions that I did, which was the Foxy song by Groundbreaking. Like that took me a month to make, like a straight full month. Like, I didn't take no breaks or anything during the entire month that I was working on it. I was just, like, zoned in. It's like, I want to do this. I'm going to do it in 1 month. And I did it in 1 month. And I was like, heck yeah. Like, and doing all the timings and stuff like that. Oh, that was, like, so much fun. I might have to do that again. Like, try to make an anime, a short film in, like, 1 month. Because I would totally, like, enjoy doing that again. It was, like, a fun experience. Like, I highly recommend if you ever want to do animation, like, make a challenge for yourself. You know, and see how well you can pull off whatever endeavor you want to do. But there's nothing more funner than that, in my opinion. There we go. I think my head is pretty cooled down. I'm going to go ahead and continue carving again. So let me move this real quick, so no dust gets on it. There we go, and rotate. Boom. Then let's put some light on the subject. And there we go. So, yeah, I'm going to be continuing sculpting again now that I'm done, like, chopping some plastic. I mainly had to, like, chop down some plastic because I really needed to cool down for a little bit. Taki Ben says, hi, hello, welcome to the show where I get to go ahead and sculpt some resin. It might be, like, a very boring process for some people, which I'm sorry for not being that interesting. But the process of making stuff interest people. It initially was. I remember how like entertaining people initially were about, ooh, look, I'm making pieces. But now it's like, no, not that much. Which is kind of a shame. Kind of is. Oh, I'm not here to judge. Nope.
Let's get started, shall we? Hello and welcome to the show.
Okay. Now comes the interesting part. Huh? Fuzzbuns asks, what you working on? I am working on some new parts for Ascending Depths. And more particularly, I'm working on Terex Mark III. I'm making another set of limbs And I will then start doing some silicone molds then afterwards. So it's going to be a fun and interesting process. Right now, you're going to see me make the legs, and then I'm going to be working on the torso, which I got over here. So once I get all these pieces together, I start playing around with some silicone and make the parts. Like more copies of the parts, rather. It's going to be a fun process. Hello, Tokuro. How's it going? Hope you are doing well. Okay, Udra Mike says, "Hey Trey, I was wondering. Everyone says that 2007 onwards, line pieces break easily. I've had several of my 2008 to 2009 wine red limbs break their ball joints off, particularly the Roxy legs. Yeah, I think that has to do with more so, not so much of the materials, but the color. Due to how strong the dye needs to be for that particular color, because there will be so much of the dye, it actually would make the pieces a lot more brittle. Interestingly enough, it's not to do with the plastic or anything. It's all because of the dye. Because for that particular color, the dye has to be like very much, a lot more stronger. Like, has to use a lot of dye just to get it to that color. And the same thing with lime as well, because how much of that particular dye is required to make that color, like, that's why they break so easily. It's just because of the color and how strong the dye has to be to actually change the color of the plastic to said color. The more you know. It was never the plastic that was the problem. It was the dye that colors the plastic. So if Lego went a little bit easy on the dye, the plastic would have worked perfectly fine. But nope, they just opted for something a lot more brittle. Neutron Micro says some other wine red Roxy legs work just fine without breaking, but these wine red limbs also look a bit more glassy. Yeah, it's also to do with the dye. Like ABS is already glossy in nature, but because you're using so much dye, some the part will become much more shinier looking and more brittle. Maybe because some of the red pieces do not break that you have. It might be because like the dye in the plastic is a little bit more balanced. So there is some inconsistency in terms of quality with that particular plastic and with that particular color. Perhaps the ones that do not break so easily is because the dye in the plastic are well balanced. Like there's not too much dye and not too little plastic. So it's a little bit more consistent. But for other pieces, there's a lot more dye than plastic. Like two. And when I say a lot more dye than plastic, I'm talking about like there is a higher usage of dye for the plastic when you could use less dye for the plastic that you're coloring. That's what I'm talking about. Udron Micro says, so the more dye, the easier the pieces die? Yes. That's exactly what I'm saying. The more dye, the more it die. Whew. Tobe says, I've heard that dark red pieces from that period are more fragile. Yeah, that's because of the dye. Yeah, it's mainly because of the dye, unfortunately. I made. Okay, so I think I made enough for now. My mask is gonna need to be cleaned again. It's clogged up, so I'm gonna have to get that cleaned up. So, because it's fogging up, so that's a sign that ventilation is not working properly anymore. So, thank you all for joining with me. It was fun. I'm gonna go ahead and make another limb. I'm happy with how this one turned out in particular, and how you can get the axles through and pins as well, especially pins. I may actually make it a little bit more smoother because the tolerance is a little off.